Sir, very good morning to all scholars of the Veda Samskruti Samiti. And I want to present whatever our opinion about the nature and cyclic path. Um, Respected scholars of the Samskruti Samiti, since I do not know much about Sanskrit, I'll concentrate only English language. Please kindly pardon upon that. Coming to that nature and cyclic path, the word when you say nature and cyclic path, this question readily given by answer by the famous couplet given by Adi Shankaracharya that Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, uh, Punarapi Jatare Shayanam, Hya Samsare Bahudustare, Krupaya Pahi Parare, Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam. This couplet, what is given by Adi Shankaracharya, really explains about the nature and its cyclic path readily. But we, myself and my colleagues, want to interpret what by means of science into that. I'm V Prasad, working as a faculty in Osmania Institute, and Vijay Kiran is also a faculty. And E.V. Raman is a researcher and faculty working in Portugal. So our thoughts, what we have, we want to present here in that. Of course, this topic is dramatically different. What the earlier speaker said that, but we made it is an attempt. Once again, I'm telling you about it's an attempt about that. Before going to the topic in detail, I want to tell you that the science and religion, they are really a parallel lines. And Hinduism is made an approach, a major and asymptotical approach. We give explanation to the science. Why Hinduism is only because the famous statement Hinduism, when you go to that, Akashat patitam toyam yadha gacchita sagaram sarvadeva namaskaram keshavam pratigacchate. The word itself, what we have said that it gives you a kind of asymptotical approach to understand about the science. Sarvadeva namaskaram keshavam pratigacchate. This is really a greatest statement given by our Hinduism, where we can really made an attempt to understand about that. In this connection,
one second, Prasad,
sir,
one
sir,
second.
sir.
Give me one second. I addressing to all the audience. Please note there is another. This itself is an excellent talk. What Mr. Prasad is going to give, and one more excellent talk, which is considered the best paper of the series by Siva Chandupati, and he is going to give the next this thing. Please don't miss it. It is on Vimana Shastra and Yantra Parikaras. Please don't miss it. It's a research paper, and he probably has got a patent also for his research. Please don't miss that. And please stay back and hear that lecture also. Okay, that's what I want to. So people may start going for lunch and other things. Please bear with us and hear that lecture also. Definitely. Yeah. Please go ahead, sir. Prasad, please go ahead.
Sir, to understand about the nature and cyclic path, what I'm telling you is the religion is, and many religions may be quoted into that, we really do not know. But Hinduism as such, it giving you a good explanation, and we corroborate our results to the what the mythology says that. Before that, as I told you that science and religion is really their parallel. An asymptotical approach only will give you a kind of explanation into that. In this connection, nature always giving a kind of a panorama or giving a kind of design from the Big Bang. So existence, nature is not a miracle. The options would be. This is the first step. From that, we will go ahead about that thing. Different methods adopted in our religion. What methods adopted? First thing is nature worshipping. Nature worshipping is really a great kind of things. It's given a path in Hinduism. From that, we can really understand about what is the meaning of birth and what is the meaning of death and why this cycle is repeating over and over. So the worshipping of the nature is really one of the biggest, gift is given by our Hindu philosophy, worshipping of the nature. So before going to that, one statement has given in Hinduism. What is that is, in Veda, he says that, Iyam visishtato Ababuva yadi ya dede yadivana yo asadyaksha parame vyomanye angaveda idivana veda. Maybe my pronunciation is difficult, but in English it says that he is the man who has heaven. He knows or perhaps knows not. His highest controls the world of highest heaven. It gives a kind of belief in that. First, a religion should have a belief. From the belief only we can understand what is a fact and what is not. So you should have a belief. A belief will come from our religion only. So it gives a, it says that the highest heaven, whose eyes control the world of highest heaven. So the man, he controls about all kind of things. So whatever worship you give, every worship goes to the Lord Keshava. So it is giving a kind of belief. From the belief only we can understand what is a meaning of science. So this gives a kind of philosophical approach. I want to add one more sentence over here. It gives a kind of philosophical approach. And what philosophical approach, what we want to make, just we go to this slide. What is a philosophical approach? When coming to the physics point of view, to explain about the God from physics point of view really made many parts. So in that, I have chosen 3 kind of concepts, and we will approach what is one by one. First concept is the time approach. Archimedes has actually in ancient days, you want to calculate what is the maximum distance one can measure of your solar system, or you call universal system. He has given a kind of a very great equation, says that size of the universe by size of the solar system is equal to size of the solar system by size of Earth. From this, his calculation has given 10 to the power 16 grains of sand can all explain about the universe. From modern calculation, it is giving 10 to the power 93 calculations. I do not know how Archimedes has given this equation. Maybe he copied from the ancient text, or I do not know, but he has given the famous equation by 10 to the power 16. This is called a Sand-Ricon theory. But Bhagavad Purana, if you look into that, this concept based on the egg universal concept. So he explains about that 500 million yojanas. Yojana is nothing but as 8 miles. From that calculation, what you are getting is 6.8 trillion light years. The scientifically recently proven by NASA is a 7 trillion years. So what I mean to say that the asymptotical approach, what we want to talk about, Hinduism really giving a asymptotical approach towards science and the religion. Because the religion is a concept where we required a proof, science required a proof. From religion to give a proof, a little bit difficult, but in this, we are making an attempt to that. So what is a cosmic puzzle? Cosmic puzzle, to understand about a cosmic puzzle from the physics point of view, we have required 2 things. One is called fundamental constant, and second is called what you call approximations. The fundamental constants, if you look into that, I think this PPT is not giving clearly, but I'm putting here like that. The fundamental constants are classified into categories. So this is one way, and this is another way. Where you look into the scale, we have almost, they are seems to be equal. So what this is a given equation of the fundamental constants. So they're all giving the equations, but they are slightly different about each other. To more detail, I'll go to this next thing. Here we do that thing. So the fundamental constant explained by basically by Planck's length and Planck marks and Planck's time. So what is a Planck length? This is the smallest length what we have. So 2 to the 10 to the power minus 33 centimeters. So this is a smallest length as given by already quoted by our many Hindu texts. And the smallest mass, this is also quoted by Hindu text. And Planck's time, smallest time, is also quoted by many Hindu texts. So what is the beauty in that? The G value, whatever you are putting, that it is changing. As G, we call gravitational constant, which is, I mean, once again, I explained you about G. Force acting between the 2 masses, we call F is equal to M1 and M2, and depends on by R square. So if E is equal to G into M1, M2 by R square, that you call G is nothing but as universal constant G. People say that universal constant is a universally the constant, does not change about time and whatever called. But coming to the density, another hypothetical approach is made by recent times that the density may be changing because the universe is expanding. So one of the hypothetical assumption is also there. So that we really do not know whether the change is density by based on the recent approaches. But when calculating the G value, the G value, when you're calculating by different approximation, there are a lot of approximations are there. You cannot, in other words, I can say, you cannot calculate G by means of any experimental methods, because difficult to measure the G, capital G accuracy, because the G has a very small value and other forces are like nuclear forces are very strong. So G is very weak force. So weak force to calculate is very difficult. And another thing is the small g value is also changing from place to place. So this is a higher place of the earth is one, lower place down. So G is also changing. G is also changing, and it is difficult to calculate G. Therefore, whatever the physical methods we are putting on that, they are nothing but as approximation methods into that. When you have approximation methods are different, then the density calculation of that is also difficult. So a lot of approximation is needed into that. In this connection, we want to know once again our what you call birth and death concept. So the time and space, there are two singularities, and they are even without your any participation. So here also he is saying that the God is nothing but as a Lord Vishnu. He says that he lives in every aspect of that. So this is really a good kind of concept of that thing. So both time and space are eternal. No one can imagine origin and limit of the time, and time conditions and regulates. So this is given by explanation by our Rig Veda about that I'm missing out here. So both time and space are eternal. So no one can imagine origin and limit of the time and space. So this is given by Albert Einstein, saying that this time and space they are coupled to each other. Pardon me, sir. Pardon me, sir.
One second. Ram Kumar ji, please go to mute. Ram Kumar Nellore. Ram Kumar ji, please go to mute. You are disturbing the whole session. Okay, then Prasad ji, please go ahead.
Sir. So this is what given by Bhagavad Gita. What about that? Kalosmi loka kshetra purdo lokan mahurtaya pravrittaha. This what he has given, that I'm mighty time, the source and destruction, time, the causes. So he said indirectly, I am the witness, what is going on, what is that? So he is creating a kind of belief into that. So from the belief only we can understand what is the science. As I told you, to interpret these kind of things from the scientific point of view, it's a very difficult to say that, because we cannot have a concrete proof on that. So quantum mechanical equations has given a kind of postulates without any experimental evidences. He made an attempt from that. So a kind of belief or kind of adopting a kind of postulates, then only you can understand about this science. Albert Einstein is only the man who has really understood about the
not audible. Couldn't hear you.
Many space coordinates are given, but the space and time, this really a good interpretation made by Einstein that was related in most of the Rig Veda theories. So just since I'm not perfect about the Sanskrit, just I'm reading about the text in English. Time, conditions, and regulates generating and growth. So time is witnesses what past happens and what is future is happening, and it is our material things. So this is giving a kind of a belief. So of about that thing. So God lives time and space. This is another good couplet. What I want to say that what Einstein also quote that time and space cannot they are coupled to each other. So most of the scientists are saying time is different and the space is different, but time space, the coupled phenomena only explains about the general theory of relativity, which in turn explains about our punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, and everything about concepts. And this is one concept I want to tell you about that. Then second is called universal singularities. There's also another explanation about given by thing. Why diversity exists? What is the meaning of diversity? And transformation from one soul to another soul. This is called punarapi jananam. That means rebirth theory. Rebirth theory is not explained by any other religions. Only Hindu religion only explains about the rebirth theory. To understand about rebirth theory, I think Hinduism is only the best way to understand about that. The diversity explained by Darwin to some extent that survival is the fittest. Survival at fittest is really explains about the Darwin theory, but what is the meaning transformation from one soul to another soul? No, this was not explained by our Darwin theory. So environment changes from time to time. Therefore, species get adopted their own, and this is becomes a characteristic features. Of course, this is a scientific phenomena which was explained both by Darwin theory as well as our Vedic theories also to particular. And in all various faiths or different faiths, they said that the God created 6,000 years ago. But Hinduism says that the had formed very, very, very long back, not 6,000 years ago. So what they said that this is a contradiction to the time evolution theory. So based on the science, they have concluded that the Darwin theory is false because God cannot be false. So why these souls are different? Why transformation from one soul to another soul? All the monolithic other faiths, they said that the world is created about 6,000 years ago. But Hinduism says that the world exists very, very lakhs of years ago, because we have Kalas, Tetrayugam, Dwaparayugam, the Kalas, you said that. So why souls is existing, or why different souls are existing? This was given by one of our yogic kind of things that's called Abhibhutam, Advaita Bhutam, Abhiyatam, the spiritual kind of things. So this is a physical phenomena. And this is called I and external. The linkage between the soul and external source. This is a fantastic statement is given by Rigveda that Adidaya Bhutam. So there is a linkage between I and external world, the soul and the external souls. I mean, Atma, Paramatma. So this kind of linkages was given by fantastically by our Rigveda. So I think definitely it explains about much about that thing. So already I told you, this couplet explains about the why world is existing and what is death. So Adi Shankaracharya has given a kind of a famous couplet. This couplet really gives a thought-provoking or explains about death and birth and singularity and non-singularity, or repeated over the cycles of that. With this is a Rigveda mantra. So what I'm telling you about this is cyclic repeats over again. This is a time scale and the event I'm talking about. So birth, death, birth, death. So birth and death are nothing but as events. So once birth has comes, definitely we have death. Once again birth, once again death. At times goes on that. So one of the statement given by Rigveda that Ayam Khota Pratamaha Pasyate Mamidam Jyotir Namrutam Marteshu Dhruvam Jyotir Hetam Dusame Kamanojista Patayastaha. So he is telling that he is the first invoker. Look at him, the light, immortal with mortals. So living and non-living. So he is the presence of that. So God is present between the mortal and mortal, that nothing but as God lives in space and time, nothing but as space and time are coupled to each other. This is a fantastic statement given by the Rigveda, and what Albert Einstein is taking that the coupled of time and space. This concept was explained by this Rigvedic things. So this is really one of the fantastic statement given by Rigveda. And the last, I mean, what I want to conclude about this case is nature and karmic action. So birth and other birth is depend upon the karmic action. How the karmic action, that is really a big debate. I'm very too small to explain about this concept. So what I want to mean that accidentally we have done in our laboratory about the some experiment on banana peel. Why banana peel? Because our laboratory were explaining about the ferrolytic measurements. In ferrolytic measurements, some of the lossy dielectric materials, they show a banana loop. So why banana loop? Why he coined this banana? For that, it gave me thought-provoking. So we made as kind of experiments on that. So banana peel is given by God only. We are not, I mean, made banana. So from this banana peel, what we observed that this idealistic behavior, what I'm telling you that. You say that this is a resume, this is an imaginary part, this is a real part. And at a higher frequencies, both imaginary and the real part are coincide to each other. So what I mean to say that independent to each other. So at high frequencies, both these values are moving to merging into singular values. So we can kind of a gaudy behavior, or a kind of say that ideal behavior. I can say ideal behavior. When we took this project has given to MSc project, so on kidney stone. So kidney stone is formed because of our bad habits. So bad habits, when you take the impedance or dielectric data on that, what you are saying that there's a lot of dispersion into that. There's also not man-made sample. It is also created sample. This also makes like that approximated ideal behavior. What I want to say that this is called approximated ideal behavior. When coming to the pure scientific samples, we see both are independent to each other. There's a lot of dispersion is observed in man-made samples of barium titanate, whatever we at ceramics do. We don't get this kind of behavior in our samples. We made a peculiar behavior in this kind of samples, means God sample or banana peel sample, and what we have kidney stone sample or man bad habits or what you call whatever habits we have. So this another samples. We can put that since these two samples have water traces, so they may give this kind of behavior. I really do not know. But what we say that this is a God sample and man-made samples and man-made samples. So God sample giving a kind of idealistic behavior, and a kidney stone, what on account of the bad habits, we create a kidneys like that, that also giving a kind of approximated what you call idealistic behavior. Whereas man-made ceramics, they never show this kind of behavior. They're all dispersion kind of things. So a lot of research is really required, and a lot of collaboration work is required to interpret this kind of work. In this connection, I want to say one mode of Sanskrit about this. Eko samudro dharuno rayano masmado bhurijanma vijaste, and this couplet. His couplet, he says that he is one ocean, contains all matter having many birds. So he is the witness, what is going and what is the past and what is the future. So he is giving a kind of belief to correlate or to corroborate ancient to past or ancient to a linkage. A kind of linkage corroboration is made by this kind of couplets. So and another beautiful statement of this thing, a dwelling place in the bud where fountains. He circles the lap of the secret couple, and their dwelling place in the bird within the lap of foundation. So this couplet, I think, gives explanation about the witness of the future and the witness of the past. So this gives a kind of corroboration to that. Little bit to the our Vedic approach, and he said that Panchabhutas are made by different elements like Akash, Vayu, and Agni, Jal, and Prithvi. So human bodies, we have all these kind of bodies, and whatever the bad things what are occurred on account of imbalance of this, I mean, if you have imbalance of air, we'll get one disease. When imbalance of heat, we'll get one disease. We in balance of water, we can have one disease. In balance of bones, we have one disease. So kidney stone is on account of water imbalance of our diets. So if you control water balance, or you can take most water, you can control the kidney stone, what is given by many of our yogic things. So he's also here clearly giving that the sense organs, what you have, ears, skin, eyes, tongue, nose. So if you have imbalance, definitely it affects all this kind of organs. So there is a relation between our Panchabhutas and our health and our whatever of Gyanendriyas. So this kind of a philosophical approach, a scientific approach is made by Hinduism. So a lot of research is needed into speculate this kind of things. So conclusions, what I want to say that religion and science are two distinct, they are two parallel. To understand science through religion, it is a really very big task. So Hinduism really makes an asymptotical approach to really understand about the religion. So a correlation between science and religions can be arrived by studying mandals of many of Rig Veda, because a Rig Veda of repeated study gives information of deeper understanding of our science. And with conclusions, these couplets given by Rig Veda that Vime Karnam Patayato Vi Chakshurvedam Jyotir Hridaya Ahitam Yat Vim Manuscharati Dura adi kim yat pakshami kyo manishye. So what is the meaning of that? Many years my eyes fly forth, strive to see the light and spread wide within that. My mind wanders to flee. So what I mean to say that it is a giving a kind of belief to witness from the past and the future. From that belief only we can understand about that. So why I'm telling repeatedly believe that when quantum mechanics was started, what is advanced science was started, they was laid by postulates. The postulates has not proven. The postulates they made a kind of assumption. From the assumption, present science whatever they developed. After that they developed. So a lot of collaboration work, a lot of research work is required to interpret about that. In this connection, I'm thankful to my guru and mentor, Professor S.P. Kumar, who has really introduced this group. I really do not know about the Samskruti Samiti. So I'm very thankful for the Prabhakar Mahodaya. He has given an opportunity to share my views into that. I'm really in the beginning of that. So this, and I'm saying this an attempt to understand about the what is uh, past and the future. Before going to that, I already told you the collaboration work is required. So we made a development of these electrodes. From that, we measure all these measurements on that. It is indigenous development. So please refer this website so you can see about that thing. And already I told you, we required a teamwork because rabbit is very strong in land, whereas tortoise is strong in uh, water. So with coupled of together means when you're strong, we have to depend on that. When we're strong, depend upon that. So if you made this kind of approach only, we will really understand about what is the Rigveda and what is the science. We are really very poor in Rigveda and other kind of things. We require really a lot of knowledge into that. We have a lot of things to interpret about that. In also we take that the kidney stone, what we are seeing the signals and derivative signals is giving to that. But in Rigvedic interpretation about that, really we do not know. See, we really required a lot of, collaborative work, a lot of teamwork to interpret about that. We made another things. Unfortunately, the samples are going. One is a vegetarian sample, one is an alcoholic sample, one is a non-alcoholic sample. There's a lot of differences we observed in the signal of the kidney stone. So I think um, a clubbing of the yogic therapy and naturotherapy and clubbing of the physical sciences and clubbing of the Rigvedas, I can tell you about what you called when can correlate about that thing. This is an attempt. So I thank you very much for all the organization for giving this kind of opportunity, and you're welcome for the questions or as well as a collaboration work with our physics laboratory. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Prasadji. It's an excellent topic, and it's an excellent attempt to link up the Karma Siddhanta and other Rigveda principles to the latest scientific technologies of Archimedes and other scientists, which you are talking about. And this is, as you said, it has to be a combined, concerted effort of combined people of the Sanskrit Pandits, Veda Pandits, and Science Pandits. These three organizations these three associations. That's why in my notice to the this project also, I mentioned there should be a combined effort of three people is required, and better to associate a Sanskrit Pandit and a Vedic Pandit along with a Science Pandit and present the paper. If that has been done, that would have been an excellent attempt. So a combined effort of Sanskrit Pandit, Veda Pandit, and Science Pandit, modern Science Pandit, will give the correct research work in the field of estimating or enlightening what science is in our Vedic Sanskrita Vangmayam. So that attempt is to be done. Probably we lost that touch last 200 years. We will try to, this is the attempt. The Veda Samskruti is committed to create that attempt, the atmosphere again, to do that research work and bring forth to the public the world technology that is there in our Veda Vangmayam. So with this, any more questions, please?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, Vijayasmi.
Yeah, Hanuman Chakravarti.
Hanuman Chakravarti, okay. Hanuman Chakravarti, okay.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yeah, yeah, please go ahead.
Hariom, I'm Swapnalata. Hariom.
1 minute. Swapnalata, wait. Oh, wait. Please wait. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Chakravarti.
Yeah, in the initial slide, I think you have mentioned a word called universe. I mean,
Yes,
is
sir.
it the whole? You mean the universe?
Yes,
means-
it's the whole universe. Yours universe. Yeah, I
Okay.
think people will ask the question. That is the reason I put ready-made answer also.
Okay.
Sir, ask me the question, sir.
So, as a layman, I have a question. You know, they have given some certain figures like
Yes, sir.
okay,
Yes,
7 trillion or something. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So my question is, say for example, the whole universe is only 1 kilometer.
Mm.
Okay. So what exists after that 1 kilometer?
That's what I'm telling you is that is the reason the earliest people says that the whole universe about somewhere 10 billion years, light years. Then after that, the people say that 93 billion years because universe is expanding. The two hypothetical things are there. One is universe is expanding. So on that, what happens? See the scale, sir. I'm giving this thing. This is a NASA scales I'm talking about. Now, presently, people are talking about 10 to the power 15. So 10 to the power 9 is nothing but a billion, and 10 to the power 12 is broken trillions. So what you said that the universe is 10 to the power 15. So 10 to the power 15 meters means is very light years means is very, huge. It's a very huge. It's a beyond our imagination. And the signals, what they are telling about the, light year means 1 year after 1 year. So the spectrum, when you take into that, they're not the same spectrum they're observing. If it is not there, then the spectrum will be different. Therefore, what I'm talking about that, what the NASA people are talking about 10 to the power 15 is correct only. But the Brahmanda Purana has given extended explanation. They are putting 7 trillion years. Unfortunately, I don't have calculation here, but you can cite and see the website also, sir. They are
No,
giving
no,
how they calculated
my question is very
based on the
basic,
yugas,
sir.
sir. Yugas.
My question is very basic. Actually, I'm not concerned with how big it is. My question is, say for example, you mentioned 7 trillion. Okay, so I'm at the end of that 7 trillion kilometers or miles or whatever it is. So what is after that is my question.
Do not know, sir. Really do not. No one knows. Science.
Yeah. So what I mean to say is, I think these calculations doesn't make any sense because according to Advaita, like whatever we see, it's only the reflection. Okay, it is in a way it is a myth actually, because the Vishnu and Shiva, like we have a Shiva Purana, right? So Shiva asked Vishnu and Brahma to go and see what is in the at the one edge, that is start, and other like you just go and find the ends where it starts and where it's going to end. That is a time dimension, right? So is the same is the case with the space.
No, sir. What I want to tell you is earlier people thought that is a billion light years only. Now recently say that trillion years, but trillion years already quoted by Brahmanda Purana very long back. Therefore, what I'm telling you is our Vedic people have really calculated very long back about trillion years. Now people are realizing it's a trillion years. If you look into the internet, they only say 63 billion years or 90 billion years like that. But
no, even the Brahmanda Purana, I have a doubt on Brahmanda Purana also. That's what I'm saying. Like even like whatever, whether it's a Brahmanda Purana or some other Purana or Vedas or whatever, my question is simple. If I'm end of what you are saying, if you say it is 1 kilometer, I want to understand what is outside one kilometer.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
That's outside. Sir, this is the part, sir.
Let me answer this question. Hanuman Chakravarti, this is a question which is under research. Nobody knows. Maybe Nasdaya Sukta may tell about this to some extent. Anyway, I got
thanks. I was just
Prahlad Kumar Garu is there to answer the question. I will request him. Before that, I will tell you. Maybe Nasdaya Sukta may explain you what happens or there some darkness is there, then light will come. Something is there in Nasdaya Sukta.
Right.
Okay. But that's not the topic of today.
Yeah.
What
just to have
that's what Prasad wants to express now here is the modern science has even today have talked about some billion years only, whereas our Rigveda has already told 7 trillion years long back, much more earlier. So the Vedic science has got much more higher boundaries than the present science systems are being exploring. That's what he wants to express. That's what I get from Prasad.
No, that's the reason I asked, like in the initial, whether you are talking about the whole. Why I believe is, even if it is something is mentioned in Brahmanda Purana, that must be regarding the universe, because we believe in multiverses also.
Okay, I got your point.
In Telugu,
Let Prahlad Kumar garu explain this concept.
Yes, sir. The point is, when we talk of this Big Bang theory and all that, and when it says that it is 13.7 billion years ago it has happened, that means the light speed with which the light can travel, that speed is limiting our knowledge of the universe beyond that. The maximum amount of universe that can be observed is what is given by the observable universe is different from universe, that part of the universe which cannot be observed using light as a instrument. Therefore, when he is talking about 1 kilometer expansion, all that, thinking even hypothetical also, there is a part of the universe which...
Voice.
No, not voice. Even light also cannot travel.
No, your voice is went out, sir. Your voice is going out. Okay.
Yeah. Because of this, observable universe is limited by the speed of light. Beyond that, that universe which cannot be observed, there is a large part of the universe which cannot be speed of light. Therefore, there is no part of the system which can be completely observed, and that part which cannot be observed is not Sat. Sat is what is called as that which can be observed by our limited sensory perceptions. And Asat is not that. Therefore, in the Nasadi Sukta also, Asat and Sat, they were not present in the beginning of the universe. Therefore, Sat and Asat, that is Nasadi Sukta very clear. Didn't exist. That means what is observable and what is not, they were not existing at the point of beginning of creation. That is the basic point. Therefore, this limitation is only with regard to our senses of perception. That is observable, and that part of the universe which cannot be observed by all our instruments or any one of these things. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, Prasadji. I hope Chakravarti ji, I hope you are clear on this. Now you got this one idea on this. Okay.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, nobody can answer. It's
yeah, that's correct. That's
random question.
Yeah, thank you very much. So Rajgopalan ji, please. Yeah.
I totally endorse with Professor Prahlad Rao's answer. The modern science always deals with respect to a particular type of standard. See, there should be some sort of component by which only we can measure. Whereas when we talk about the 10th mandala, the 19th sloka of our Virata Purusha, there they talk about the creations right up to the sustenance, survival, and again recycling, again Purusha Yajna and Purusha creations. So there they are discussed very nicely. Those things have to be analyzed. That clearly says that the creation, what we think is the sustenance of the life which has started. But as per the geoscience, being a geoscientist as well as a space scientist, I can explain that the age of the Earth, what we considered as 4,500 million years or so, the galaxy, when we say that it has come out of that one, the meteoritic samples becomes the standard for us for the different components by which we compare. So the question of comparing, as Dr. Prahlad Rao, Prabhakar, I'm not remembering the previous speaker.
Prahlad Kumar.
He has correctly said they use light as a mode, light as a calculation mode. But there are certain things beyond light. That is what we have to perceive. That has been very well explained by the Virata. The one beautiful example of this one, the analogically we can take is that when Krishna opens his mouth, they see the Akhandam also inside that one, universe also, and within universe again Krishna, again universe. So this is what called as the one in many, many in one. The cyclic process comes. That is what in our Kalagana also, if you see, they go with the ages with respect to the Divya years and then the Manushya years. So these things are all under research, and the corroboration has been a lot of discussions are going on as per the age of different one. So anyway, these are the interesting topics. I would like to have only one question, one doubt or one question with the speaker who has talked about it. Why he has selected barium titanate
Yes.
as a sample?
No, sir. Since we are working on a barium titanate sample, so it's a standard sample, so you have taken. That's nothing wrong in that. This is the comparison of that thing.
Now,
So
what for you are taking? Hello.
Most promising ceramic, sir. Most promising and
as a ceramic sample, you are taken as a barium titanate. Okay, very good. So another thing is
Captain
that
Captain Dinishaji, your question, please.
Thank you so much for giving me opportunity. Two things. One is just giving layman answer to the layman question, which one of the gentlemen was asking, that what is there after universe? Yes, probably the answer may be there. We need to research more, and even the modern science probably could not tell us where what is there after universe. Now, coming on to the topic, being a physics person, it caught my attention, and I was really keeping my eyes wide open to understand the connect, because whatever was being presented as part of the research, without knowing that these are the things existing, I had a belief that there is a lot which is there in our ancient science, which this modern science is just an iota of it. Now, my question to this is, Mahaday, I believe you are part of some university or in a leading position as far as the academics is concerned. So, are we using this connect, or is it your initiative to do this research in your university? If yes, how we can connect? I mean, other universities can connect, because I'm part of various bodies as far as universities are concerned. So it's very important right now to connect them to ancient science. If not, what could be the initiative that we can take it out of our home? I hope my question is understood.
Madam, in conducting means you want to collaboration work?
Beyond, I don't want to call it collaboration. I would like to call it a step towards learning. So, is your university offering?
But definitely, madam,
this
it is not
research?
A problem.
If you can share the, can share the connects, I would take this one-on-one with you as to how we are doing.
Madam.
And I will connect. I'm part of a body where universities, like we call it 1, 2, 3 research, where we are connecting universities with foreign universities also for research and understanding purposes for short-term research. So if we can start with that, I would take your connect and I'll interact with you.
Sure, madam, definitely, because what I'm talking about, that the ideal behavior will not suitable to the application material, whatever you call physical sciences. So how it is coming, what is coming means we have a teamwork, a good, Vedic Pandit, and whatever we have, then definitely we can corroborate the results.
Thank you so much. That would be a great support.
And universities are very open, madam. It is not like that. There is no any constraints. If constraints are there, it definitely will take the senior faculty help. Definitely they will help out. My sir is there, Professor S.P. Kumar sir. He is a well-known physicist and a very good, famous professor in Hyderabad. So he knows all the things. He will definitely help us. Not a problem.
I'm just a layman as far as physics is concerned.
No, madam, no, you can corroborate. Universities don't have any restrictions.
The topic is understood.
If we take, madam,
the topic is understood. 1 second. The topic is understood.
1 minute. If you generate money, then it is a problem. If you generate knowledge, no, not a problem at all.
Absolutely. Thank you.
If you generate money, definitely university come into the picture. Why you are generating money? If you generate knowledge, no, university will not come into the picture, madam.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I wish to add just one point. There are three
please.
different theories of the universe. One is the integrated universe by Bohm. The other is the conscious universe by Dean Radin. The third is what is called holographic universe. These three theories together, they try to explain the extent of the known and unknown part of the universe. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So,
integrated universe, conscious universe, and holographic universe. These are the three different theories of universe.
Thank you, sir. Josna Reddy, what is your doubt? Just
Sir, excuse me. I am
Achiredi.
This is a very nice topic, and these three professors, Nandiraj Prasadu and his friends, Vemur Vijaya, etc., have contributed a lot. And I mean, I am not concerned with physics, all these equations, etc. But I am concerned only with that part which refers to Rig Veda. First, sir, I shall I mean, just touch this Kalagnan. Kalena Sujiti Brahma, Kalena Harati Swaraha, Kalena Pati Vishnucha, Tasmat Kalam Vichintayet. This is the first sloka, no doubt. But now I go to the, I mean, other things, especially those connected with the Rig Veda. Here, first, my question is this one which is put by Hanuman, Professor Hanuman Chakravarti, but in a different way. Space and time. Here, these researchers are saying these are two dimensions, even in Einstein theory also. But I say we are measuring everything in linear terms using this light, which is originating, as far as we are concerned, from the sun and reaching all the planets, including our Earth. This is what we human beings are doing. But taking the concepts, and I mean, I refer to many interpretations, including Western scholars like that Griffith, there are, I mean, different approaches. Apart from this light, there is something beyond it. This is light is only, I mean, effect or karya. The cause, that is karanam, is there in a different world, which we don't know, I mean, directly. But something, some qualities of this different world has been or have been understood to our sages and rishis who are the founders of our Vedic knowledge, especially the Veda, right? And that is what the other day I explained in a circle. If a linear, there is no end, like what Professor Hanuman Chakravarti said, linear, there is no end. After this universe, what is there? Universe is expanding. Into which space is universe expanding? What is that space? What are the contents in that space? Of course, I don't want to take time. All these questions are there. All these questions will be answered, especially in Rig Veda, by many suktas, especially the Nasadeya Sukta. If we take that explanation of the Shunyam. And of course, so here these my friends, professors have attempted sincerely to know that one, but they could not come because their reference itself is wrong for Veda Suktas. They have given Kala Sukta is there in first Mandal 164 Sukta, 52 mantras, all are concerned with this explanation only. They provided answer to this Professor Hanuman Chakravarti's question, and especially just for example, I read the 48 mantra. Dwadasha Pradaya months, Dwadasha Pradaya 12 months. 3 Nabhyani, these are seasons of Karkata, Makara, and Equator. Kau Tachiketa, Tasmin Sakam, Trisatan, Sengavo, Arpita Sastarna, Chala Chala, that is 364 days. In those 10,000, I mean, years before Christ, they calculated the year. Like this, there are so many other references in Rig Veda to this Kala Chakra. They didn't say Kalam, Kala Chakra. Chakra means that is a round. There is no end with the round. The birth and death, as Shankara Charya said, it will be going on, recurring and recurring. And he explained the Kala in this dreadful thing by Shankaracharya like this. Kalo Mahapakshaha.
the topic is understood, sir. You are given a correct answer to the Kala Suktam. That is the correct answer you told. And we have a short of time. Let us.
Exactly, sir.
Please excuse me. Yeah, please excuse me.
To my friends, let my friends go and visit the Osmania University Library, the ground floor, where all these versions, including maximal version of Rigveda, are stored. There is the explanation, but this Kala Chakra, birth and death, etc. Sir. Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, very nice session, sir. So now, well, let us. Siva Chandupati, you wanted to talk, but I could not give you time at the time. You are there. Siva Chandupati left. This is the last speaker. He wanted to talk, it seems. He was raising
yes, sir. Actually, I wanted to talk about this. Actually, I tried to talk, but my computer voice was not working. So I switched to mobile now. I restarted my computer. It takes some time because I'm the next speaker. But anyway, what I want to tell was actually the question was not about the size of the universe, but it was a great question actually. What is the end and what is after the end actually? It's my interpretation is slightly different actually. It's also scientifically proven recently. There is no end actually. So after the whatever we call this whole universe, till we go to this trillion light years, and it starts. This whole thing will become to the size of an atom. And that whole universe will be a small, minute thing, and we have a big universe again. Like it's like a Sri Chakra. You have universes within the universes. It will go infinitely inside, and the same way it will go infinitely outside. So there is no end to zooming in. So if you go inside a small atom, you'll find the whole universe again. And in that universe, if you go zoom in and you find another, and the atoms, you'll find another universe. This infinitely goes in and it infinitely comes out. It's same like what is already explained or graphically shown in what we call this Sri Chakra actually. So this is my interpretation and understanding. But I'm just trying to start my computer. It started actually, yeah. If there are no other questions, but give me a few more minutes and give some.
Carry on. Meanwhile, we'll close the earlier session. Okay. Any more questions? Any more questions? Anybody would like to share before the last topic is started?
Hari Om.
Yeah, please.
Swapnalata Mohoday.
Saprada, you wanted to tell first. Tell me, what is your doubt?
आम् प्रष्टुमिच्छामि महोदय तर्हि परमात्मा संकल्पना फिलोसॉफिकल अस्ति तर्हि अनुभवस्य विषयः परम् अहं ज्ञातुम् इच्छामि यत् परमात्मा संकल्पना साइंटिफिकली कथं वक्तव्या या तस्य विषये किञ्चित् महोदयस्य विचारः ज्ञातुम् इच्छामि
परमात्मा संकल्पं कथमस्ति इति
scientifically
regarding universe, you mean? Universe विषये universe विषये प्रश्नम् इच्छति?
आमां परमात्मा संकल्पना अस्ति खलु फिलोसॉफिकल तर्हि साइंटिफिक दृष्ट्या फिलोसॉफिकली वयं वक्तुं शक्नुमः क्षम्यतां
cyclic ब्रह्माण्डम् अस्ति
साइंटिफिकली तत् कन्सेप्ट कथं मतलब तर्हि तस्य संकल्पना कथं स्पष्टीकर्तुं शक्नुमः तर्हि महोदय
प्रसाद जी और प्रहलाद कुमार जी anybody can
प्रसाद जी
प्रसाद जी
हरि ओम
और प्रहलाद कुमार जी can you kindly help us?
अस्तु महोदय
The basic idea here is whatever we talk about the Paramatma and all that in Narayana Sukta, the very word says yet jagat sarvam kinchite api shruyate drishyate piva tat sarvam Narayana sthitah antarbahishyapi tat sarvam Narayana sthitah. That means Narayana is the word which expresses the Avyakta Parabrahma. He is present inside everything that can be seen, that can be heard. When you talk
अनुभवस्य विषयः सः अनुभवस्य विषयः अहं जानामि, तथापि केचन जनाः सन्ति खलु, तर्हि साइंटिफिकली कथंचित् तेषां समाधानम् इति समाधानाय
singularity. It is the singularity which exists before the Big Bang. Inside that, there is an impulse is generated which explodes that Big Bang. Therefore, everything, every supernova, every supernova or ultra supernova, there is actually inside the center of that, there is an explosive force. That explosive force is what we have called in our Veda as Paramatma. And he is giving that impulse. And he is, from a singularity, he wants to project himself into all these parts of the universe that which is coming into manifestation. Therefore, every part of the universe is a part of the manifestation of the supreme Parabrahma who is existing at the center of that singularity which existed before the Big Bang. That is the concept between science and our Vedic mantra.
समीचीनं सर, धन्यवादः.
Before Siva Channapati, I thank you, Mr. Prasad, for giving an excellent topic for the discussion. And this topic is very serious topic and highly imaginable and highly questionable. A lot of churning is required on this, and it needs the experts from all the three fields, as we talked in the beginning: science, Veda, and Sanskrit experts. Now, with this, I will close this third session and go to the fourth session. Thanking the earlier speakers, Prasad and his party,